So why is such a kind of a small handful of either maybe commercial real estate owners or operators so focused, being really upset with Catholic Charities? Like what's driving that? Where are they coming from?
You know, let's talk about commercial real estate because it is integrally entwined with homelessness. Commercial real estate has gone through a very difficult time in this country. That's a reality ever since the pandemic hit. I was just reading the other day that the #1 tallest office building in downtown St. Louis, I think it's the AT&T Center it's called, which sold for $260 million about 10, 12 years ago, sold last month for $3.2 million. Used to be $240 a square feet to rent that space out. It's now $1.50. This is happening all over the country. And commercial real estate interests in Spokane, a small handful of them have been very vocal that it's because of the homeless that this is happening. Here's the reality, in my opinion. I'm not an economist. I'm just a social worker. During the pandemic, what happened to our country? About half the country realized that they could work from home. The other thing that happened is people went out and remodeled their kitchens so they could cook more from home. So now they don't go to restaurants as much. The other half of the country went out and bought a new flat screen TV because they were stuck inside during the pandemic. So they don't go to the movies or to shows anymore because they can watch it on TV. The country learned that you could get something on Amazon same day or next day delivery. So they're less likely to drive downtown and go to Lululemon and deal with parking and all those things. That's the reality of commercial real estate. It's awful. I'm saddened by it, but it's the reality. Now, the people who say, well, the people are not renting office spaces because of the homeless, because it's so unsafe to go to downtown, I have to respectfully disagree with that. Those other reasons I just mentioned are why people aren't renting office spaces. And just like Catholic Charities, we have to pivot our business model. We have to change with the times. Commercial real estate is going to have to change with the times. If people are not going to rent office space, let's talk about turning that into residential apartments like they used to be 50 years ago in downtown Spokane, most of those buildings. That's the reality for us, is that we have to be able to pivot our model. And commercial real estate and homelessness are absolutely connected. Now, does it help commercial real estate when those 20 people hanging out in front of Donna Hanson Haven are hanging out in front of the Apple Store? Absolutely not. It's absolutely a true issue. And law enforcement needs to engage in that. 100% we agree with that. But homelessness is not the reason that commercial real estate has been struggling. It's struggling all over the country. And keep in mind, most commercial real estate leases are on a 5 or a 10-year lease. So we haven't even seen the biggest part of this bubble burst yet, because the pandemic was 2020, 2021. The 5-year leases are going to start kicking in next year, and then the 10 years are going to start kicking in after that. And you're going to see more commercial space being empty in this community and all over the country. Let's do something with that space, rather than sit around and say, well, it's got to be Catholic Charities' fault. It's the homeless' fault, why I can't rent my building or my strip mall or my restaurant or my whatever. There's 500,000 homeless people in the United States. There's 300 million people in the United States. Do you think that 500,000 people could tank the commercial real estate market? Absolutely not. It's just not happening. It's all these other factors. But we should be working together. We want to work with commercial real estate. We want to help them any way we can. And I think they have a huge opportunity to transition some of this space into housing.